You're watching Good Morning Nigeria. Now we take up our second, topic for this morning. And the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria FAN is set to hold the maiden edition of FAN National Aviation Conference, which was supposed to be held in 2020, but was postponed due to COVID-19.
Now, the conference, we understand, has been initiated to showcase investment opportunities at our airports and also to serve as a platform for brainstorming on contemporary developments in the aviation industry. Joining us in the studios to discuss matters around the conference, we would like to welcome the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of FAN, that's the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Captain Rabiu Yadudu. Captain Yadudu, delighted to have you this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. We also have with us in the studios Nath Mark Abraham in Niger. He's an accredited international airport professional and also the chair of the planning committee of the FAN National Aviation Conference. Nath, glad to have you on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's begin with the chairman of the planning committee before we bring in the CEO of FAN. Why are you holding this conference?
Thank you very much. This conference is being put together to provide a platform for all stakeholders in the aviation industry to come together and review their operations, to talk about their challenges, to review the prospects, and then to see where we can collaborate more effectively towards delivering quality services to our passengers.
When is it coming up?
It's going to start on the 14th of June and it's going to run all through to 17th.
Okay. Now, Yadudu, what else can you tell us about this conference, which the public needs to know?
Well, thank you. Just like the chairman said, it's about our stakeholders and our participants, industry participants. Because aviation is a system, it operates as a system. Most of the time people happen to know a lot about FAN and maybe the NCA, maybe the airlines, but it goes much deeper than that. In the system, we have so many components that are hidden. For example, you might fly in an airport for over 20 years without meeting any NCA or NAMA staff. And these are agencies that are working actively behind the scenes, but by the nature of their responsibilities, no one ever sees them most of the time. FAN, you might come to the airport almost every day, but you interact with FAN personnel just about 9% of the time. Most of the time when you come to the airport or you fly, you deal with stakeholders, important stakeholders like the government agencies, the car hire, the car concessionaires, the small traders inside the terminal. So many people operate to make aviation a success. Now we want to bring these people to the fore on a platform that is meant for aviation and to discuss aviation issues so that we can all now bring much more awareness of our responsibilities to each other, more understanding and collaboration and of course cooperation. So these 4 components we believe will fully help us to be much more efficient and improve our service delivery, because without the service there will be no reputation, no name, no pedigree. And right now we have a lot of pedigree in Nigerian aviation, because if you look at the last, especially after the pandemic, a lot happened. We are still here performing very well. We got a lot of recognitions, a lot of commendations across the world, and I think we are trying to consolidate on those achievements. That's why we decided to bring all the stakeholders together and sit down to map the way forward. We'll sit down, and after the 4th day, a standing committee will continue most of the work by putting together the resolutions, developing a communique that we shall pass around to all the stakeholders, and this committee will now monitor most of the improvements or developments in compliance with the communique through the next 12 months, so that by the next year's conference when we come, we review the communique and the development that has been achieved, and then we start adding on to that. So it's not just about the 4 days. It's about a program that is meant to be a Nigerian program that will last way into the future. It will drive cooperation, collaboration, and development. Most importantly, I think we need to understand aviation doesn't happen like out of in isolation. We have context. Nigerian context is very unique. So I think what I need to add is this conference is also aimed at considering and addressing the unique challenges or even the blessings of operating aviation in Nigeria. Contextual issues, contextual circumstances are very important in aviation.
That's his system.
All right, thanks, Captain Yadudu. You said now that at the end of this maiden edition of the conference, you will come back next year to review what has been done. But does that suggest not that this is going to not be a yearly conference? But more importantly, I would like you to add to the other objectives or goals of this whole conference.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it's going to be an annual event. Like you said in your introductory comments, the main edition should have held in 2020. If that had happened, we should have been planning maybe for the third edition by now. And because of the COVID, and then when we tried to hold it last year, the second wave came on board, and we have been studying the pandemic to see the most appropriate time. And by God's grace, this is the appropriate time for us to hold the first one. It also has an investment forum. Now, across the country, we have about 22 federal government managed airports, and then many state governments also are going into aviation. Some already have airports. Each of these states is unique. For instance, in some parts of the world, aviation is built around some tourist activities. So you discover, for instance, that the Dover in the north, we could actually put that together in such a way that it also drives traffic flow. So we are inviting the state governments and other people who want to invest in aviation to come and see the investment opportunities, not just in the airport, but in the states themselves, so that that could also add to the general ecosystem of the aviation industry.
Who are the participants in this? And I will ask Captain Yadudu, is there an association of flying customers that would also be participants at this conference?
Well, the participants, the technical word in aviation is all stakeholders. And the stakeholders include every passenger that has flown, everyone affected directly or indirectly by aviation activities, all the fuel handlers, caterers, the hotel businesses, even the Federal Consumer Protection and Competition Agency invited, the airlines, and of course the government agencies, every Nigerian, because in this country we have a lot of active professional aviators and a lot of passive ones, a lot of enthusiasts. So it's a very popular profession. Whoever is interested is a stakeholder, especially if he's impacted by the activities in aviation. So that is why we say all stakeholders. I hope NTA will be there also from tomorrow.
Yeah, well, of course, we'll be there to perform our media. The reason I asked that question is that, look, I mean, if you fly, then you consume the services and products of PAN and other stakeholders. And from time to time, customer appreciation or dissatisfaction with the quality of services. Let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, sometimes you go in there, the cooling system is horrible at some of the airports. You go in there and then you're wondering about baggage handling. You go in there and sometimes you're just wondering about the convenience of this is the rainy season, for instance. The aircraft parks some distance away, and the buses take forever to come. And in some cases, you have to trek across the tarmac, dodging all kinds of other players in the industry. That's why I was asking if there's an association of customers. Well, it's not directly, may not directly be your responsibility. Delays, flight cancellation, and so on and so forth. And the fact that the customer is not king in the aviation industry. Captain Yadudu.
Well, the customer is actually king. He will always be king. I think what we need to also shed more light on aviation, naturally there will be challenges. The world over, there's challenges always. That's why we have management teams. If there are no challenges, there will be no management teams. What is very critical and important for us is that when the challenges come, we remain very responsive. Japan has been very responsive over the past many years, and the responsiveness is very important because it inspires the confidence. Why you see some delays when there are some challenges that are well known, like the maybe delay in passenger departures. Sometimes these challenges need to be coordinated. Like I said, it's a system. One organization might not necessarily be able to solve a problem. In an airport, when you have passengers overstaying, 9 o'clock passengers being met by 7 o'clock or 7 p.m. passengers, FAN is one of the biggest victims, because no time in Nigeria is configured to accommodate morning passengers, midday passengers, afternoon passengers. It becomes congested. We start getting health issues. Look at the COVID that came. It even compounds the problem. Many times when people talking about delayed flights, we also coordinate actively
with the airlines and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. It's the primary agency charged with ensuring that such delays are eradicated. So it's a system. NCA cannot do it. Sometimes some of the delays, not all, are created by some of those contextual issues I mentioned here. That when you're operating aviation, it is not going to be as if you are in a country that you are out of that country. Contextual issues to do with the society, the economy, whatever challenges will always impact. So not all the delays are going to be justified, but some, quite clearly, even the NCA and FAN, we can see there are reasons for that. And in terms of the infrastructure, that's why I said earlier that we are very responsive. That's what concerns us most. When the challenge comes, what have you done? And if you've done it, show me. And we show it to the CA, we show it to our stakeholders. The bosses, in particular Abuja, we had that challenge last year, approaching the military season. We did an emergency arrangement, and right now, we had about 14 vehicles now.
Yes,
and we're brand new. We delivered a few days, just like 2 days before Christmas, because we were determined it will not happen and continue through the military season. We got the vehicles, and they're still there. We even went further. We got executive buses, not only on the main terminal, but also at the GAT where the VIP passengers walk. In terms of the air conditioning, the biggest airport that has that challenge is Lagos Airport. Okay. And this is an airport that has been operating with the same equipment for over 40 years. So we are working and trying to resolve past challenges, neglect.
Well, it seems like all these are going to be addressed at this conference, seems like.
Yes,
all stakeholders are going to be.
Yes, and most importantly, most importantly, even the baggage handling system, we started working to procure a brand new one to replace just about the 40-year delay. So this moment in the government, we're trying to pay attention and resolve challenges that we met on ground. And as of now, Mr. President approved the procurement of brand new system for Lagos early last year. What you are seeing now is the delay in manufacturing. First of all, the due process, then the funding, and now we're at the manufacturing stage. And very soon, later, you will start getting the installation and the delivery.
Yeah. All right, thanks. The reason I raised some of these issues is that we all fly.
We all fly.
And sometimes, you take a 15-minute flight from Abuja to Lagos, and it takes you another 45 minutes or 1 hour for your luggage to come out. And the aircraft is sitting there, nothing has happened. So
there are so many issues.
Anyway, I think it's very interesting that you are getting to this conference, and we do hope that it will be a frank conversation among the stakeholders. Yes. So that when you have your communique, matters arising, and then the next steps will also be taken. Where is the conference taking place, by the way?
It's taking place at the International Conference Center here in Abuja. That's where it's going to be holding.
What time is it kicking off?
It's kicking off 9 a.m. tomorrow. We have an opening ceremony, and the Honorable Minister of Aviation will be there to declare the event open.
Okay. Well, Honorable, again, we've focused on aviation issues on Good Morning Nigeria. Know that a gentleman like Chris Aligbe has sometimes complained about the fact that investors have not been sensitized or wooed to take advantage of open investment opportunities at our airport. So we wish you the very best at your conference coming up starting tomorrow and then lasting till the 17th, which is Friday. Captain Rabiu Yadudu, Managing Director, CEO of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, thank you for being our guest this morning.
Thank you very much.
We also would like to appreciate Mark Abraham Inajo, who is the chairman of the planning committee of the National Aviation Conference. He is, of course, an accredited international airport professional. Thank you for being our guest on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you, Christian.
All right, so that's it for us on Good Morning Nigeria today. As we said earlier, it's a national holiday in commemoration of this year's